This is your psychic girlfriend, Robin Richardson. And if you're like me, you're interested in how the universe works and in all things mystical. So let's explore it together. Sit back, relax, and enjoy the podcast. Hello. This is Robin Richardson, your psychic girlfriend. And we have another episode, which is a little kind of off the beaten path for me. As you can see up here, the Arizona woman that faked pregnancy with the Bachelor star while fabricating an ultrasound received an indictment of 7 felonies. Okay, so let me give you a little background. I've been following this case, the Laura Owens v. Clayton Echard case, paternity scandal, for about 2 years now. And I first started following it because the guilty pleasure of watching The Bachelor. And I follow Dave Neal, who does Bachelor Nation coverage, and I was particularly drawn to his coverage because he's fair and balanced, and he seems to have like a highly sensitive perspective. He's always sort of just positive, so I enjoyed watching, following him. Well, I had followed him for a long time, and then this case came up where Clayton was accused of impregnating a woman named Laura Owens. And something didn't feel right with Dave, and Dave didn't necessarily think that there was something off. And I think a lot of people agreed. So we all became a little concerned. So over time, I looked a little closer at this, and it became clear that it wasn't just one incident, and a group of dedicated Redditors and YouTubers and citizens uncovered more of Laura's behavior, and it painted a very big and yet concerning picture. Now, I want to have a disclaimer here. I am a psychic and a spiritual guide, and this is my prediction. These are my insights, and it's just my opinion, and it's for entertainment purposes only. So anyway, as the story kept developing, I was very just intrigued, and I think and curious, in the sense that how does someone accuse someone else of this and blast it out to social media and basically try to coerce someone into a relationship? And it's mind blowing. So I'm going to put all the links to the people who have done massive research and time frames and all those things about this case, if you're interested in it. So go do your research, enjoy. But if you are here and you know about this case, well, I'm going to just give a little overview. Laura Owens came into the public eye after she accused Clayton I'm not with my words today. Echard, who was the Bachelor season 26, I think, star, former Bachelor contestant turned real estate agent. And it seemed like a messy situation, but we, all us drama people, love all that messiness. But it quickly became like more voices, more evidence, more people surfaced that this hadn't been the first time or an isolated incident where Laura accused other people of impregnating her with twins, of all things. And so it was just a little odd at best. She altered an ultrasound. She did a lot of other things. So again, I want you to kind of go and do your own research and think for yourself on this. Clayton won his case, his June 10th of last year's case. And then Laura appealed, and the appellate court decided that she lost that one too. But Judge Mata in the first case on June 10th recommended to Rachel Mitchell, who's the Maricopa County State's Attorney, to be investigated for fraud and perjury and things like, from what I understand, perjury isn't necessarily ever prosecuted, which is again a mind blower because you're asked to tell the truth in court, right? Anyway, the indictments, 7 of them, came down a couple days ago, and so she is facing some serious criminal charges that could reshape everything about how the story continues and ends. And so now we are moving into this phase where the accountability becomes so much harder to avoid. So here comes my prediction for her felony trial. And I tuned into the energy. And when I tune into the energy, I generally use my psychic abilities as well as I pull some cards because I admittedly am very invested in this case. So here's my revelations, and I'm putting them out there because I kind of feel like I need to at this point. I don't know why. Whatever, take it or leave it how you want. So there's going to be major revelations and evidence and truths that have been hidden that will finally come to light, and we kind of already hear that. The courtroom will be charged. It'll be emotionally intense. It'll be fast-moving and at times pretty overwhelming. But despite the strength of the case and the public's hunger for true justice and the courts wanting to stand strongly in the face of justice for this and make an example of her, there's going to be an unexpected twist. So buckle in. Laura, in my opinion, will catch a lucky break. She will have a stroke of legal luck that will soften her final sentence. Now, she's going to be held accountable, don't get me wrong. But I don't see long-term prison for her. She's facing 33 years of prison if all the charges, if she's found guilty on all those charges. But I do see like a house arrest, probation, or very restricted confinement, and something that will limit her freedom, but it doesn't fully match the harm that she has caused, which is going to create a lot of frustrations. There will also be financial penalties, which she already has, but there will be more. And there's going to be, for her, heavy emotional and reputational damages. So this woman is, kind of in for a rough rest of her life. But the sense is clear. The public will feel the punishment is far lighter than she deserves. So there's going to be that kind of overall feeling about that. Now, what's interesting also in the reading that I was doing for this is the financial connections and her mother. Again, these are my opinions. There's another layer that's coming to the surface that hasn't received as much attention as it will. So I see there's clear links between Laura and her mother financially. We already know this. There's financial ties, shared benefits, entanglements that will be difficult for investigators to ignore. So there's going to be more evidence revealed, and I believe her mother will come under legal scrutiny. So this should be interesting for the rest of our content creators, because I think a lot more of the public's going to find more about her. What this can lead to is civil lawsuits, financial investigations, even further than this particular case, and possibly formal legal actions surrounding improperly handled assets or financial benefits. And what also comes to mind is the GoFundMe account. So that may be something that's investigated. While Laura's mother may not be visibly active in these dealings, the emotional and financial connections create a heavy burden. Now, the fallout of Laura's actions isn't contained just to herself, it's also spreading to her closest relationships. So think about her dad and her mother and close family friends. But because I operate in the world, I also wanted to tap into what the possible bigger spiritual purpose is. So you spiritual types who want to see like more of a broader picture, stick around for this, because this is a little deeper into the spiritual meaning behind all this. And what I asked was, what it was all this about for Laura specifically, and Clayton and the others who have been impacted by Laura in similar ways. Okay. So this case isn't just about crime and punishment. It's about soul contracts, karmic lessons, and opportunities, as painful it is for spiritual growth. Specifically for Laura, at the soul level, Laura came into this life with major lessons around loyalty, trust, and emotional responsibilities. There is a wound, a place wherein her own innocence was once fractured, and instead of healing it, she created a cycle of harm. And my guess is something occurred in her formative years as a child. Something occurred that fractured her personality and fractured her vision of the world when it comes to love and trust. And this lifetime has offered her a chance to step into healing, to build relationships based on authenticity and love. And instead, she chose manipulation, control, and self-protection at other people's expense. So now she's at a crossroads, and her illusions are crumbling. The burden she carries isn't just legal, it's karmic, and the purpose is to face real consequences of what happens when we break sacred trusts, and to decide through deep personal reckoning whether she will stay in the pattern or of deception, or finally choose a path of accountability, humility, and one true healing. I don't think this is going to happen soon, but she does have this opportunity to really take a look at herself. And I feel that the sentencing and the actual having to be limited in her freedom may force her to take some real deep look, or it can continue the fracture further. Now for Clayton and the other victims, the purpose is different, but it's just as powerful. For Clayton and the others, they came into this experience with hearts wide open, trusting, and in many ways, innocent. They didn't fail by trusting. In fact, trusting is a strength. But through this betrayal, they were called to deepen their discernment, to learn that loving others doesn't mean ignoring red flags. That protecting their own peace is sacred, and it is an act of self-respect. And that being open-hearted and wise can and must coexist. So I see Clayton is learning this lesson. I can see this already in how he is moving forward in his life, just from what we see. So to tell the clear story based on the cards I pulled, their innocence was wounded, their trust was shaken, but their hearts, when healed, will be stronger, wiser, and more radiant than before. Their next chapters will be marked with deeper authenticity, stronger boundaries, and more profound soul-level connections. In a very real way, Laura's actions cracked something, but that crack also let in stronger light. So spiritually, this entire situation is about transforming pain into wisdom, exposing illusions to build truth, and remembering that even when innocence is lost, hope and healing and deep love are still possible. So, what do you think? Do you believe justice will be fully served in this case? Do you feel that this is just the beginning of deeper reckonings for everyone involved? I would love to hear your thoughts. So drop them in the comments below, and thank you for being here and holding space for these deeper conversations. If you want me to continue following this energy and as it unfolds, don't forget to like this video and subscribe to this channel and stay tuned. There's so much more to come, and I'll be right here with you as it does. So have a good one and stay tuned for the next one.